3rd.
It just, I think, was 57 today.
Yeah.
For the high?
Around here,
Visit Charles. It's warmer by him.
Charles was in the 60s today.
yeah, well, that's Charles. Charles is pretty hot.
Yeah, he's just for the north of you when he's in the 60s. Tomorrow's supposed to be, in fact, no, today at the 75, tomorrow in the 78, 77, to the 70s rest of the week.
Okay, that's
Where
good.
are you? You're still down there.
Yeah, we're in Pembroke Pines.
Okay. No.
All right. Let's get started here.
I
All
think
right.
your thermometer.
Welcome to Garden of the Spirit, a class studying apples from the orchard for the second time beginning after Pesach 2014. This class meets in Long Meadow, Massachusetts, center of the universe, and is held in memory of Malka Ruth Pasmoshe Margaret Vogel of blessed memory. Apples from the Orchard contains selections of teachings of Kabbalah from the Arizal, Rabbi Yitzchak Luria, based on the weekly Torah portion, superbly translated and explained by Rabbi Moshe Wisniewski. Okay, we're up to page 1018. And here we go. Sir?
Boy.
Let me message. Okay. Ready, folks. One of the last mitzvahs of the Torah is to write a Sefer Torah. This chapter will speak about the Torah as a whole and about the 22 letters of the alphabet. Now, there are 5 books of the Torah. They correspond respectively to the 5 parts of Havaya, the tip of the Yud, and the 4 letters. They also correspond to the 5 Partsufim, Arech Hampin, Abba, Ima, Ze'er Hampin, and Nukva. Alan, please begin.
The Song of the Torah. And now write for yourselves this song and teach it to the Israelites. Put it in their mouths in order that this song remain a witness for the Israelites. According to the basic meaning of this verse, the song it refers to is the poem Give Ear, O Heavens, that constitutes the greater part of the following parsha. However, the sages also understand it as referring to the Torah as a whole, and from this verse is derived the commandment incumbent upon each individual to write a Torah scroll.
Continue.
Know that it is necessary to have in mind that the 5 books of Moshe correspond to the 5 Partsufim.
Continue.
The book of Bereshis corresponds to the upper thorn of the Yud of the name Havaya and the parts of Arachanpin. The book of Shmos corresponds to the Yud itself and Abba.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead. 3. The 3rd book, Vayikra, corresponds to the first Hey in Havaya and to Ima. Vayikra is about the offerings, which are to sweeten and temper the states of judgment in Ima. Go ahead.
The book of Vayikra corresponds to the first Hay and Ima. The sacrifices whose laws are detailed in this book come to rectify and sweeten the states of divine judgment that originate in this partsuf.
One moment. The 4th book is Bamidbar, where the Jewish people are counted and found to be about 600,000. This book corresponds to Vav of Havaya, which equals 6.
The book of Bamidbar corresponds to the Vav, the supernal number of Israelites. Presumably, this refers to the fact that the numerical value of the letter Vav is 6, and there are 600,000 archetypal souls of Israel. The book of Bamidbar contains the number of censuses of the people as whole, the army, the Levites, etc.
Huh? One moment. Okay. The fifth book, Devarim, is called Mishneh Torah, a recap of the first four books. This is similar to Nukvat Malchus, which only has what it receives from Zer Anpin.
The book of Devarim, known as the repetition of the Torah, recapitulates and includes everything that was in the preceding books and corresponds to the final Hay and Nukva. To summarize, Bereshis, the upper thorn of the Yud, Arachanpin, Shemos, the Yud of Abba, Vayikra, the Hay of Ima, Bamidbar, the Vav, Zer Anpin, and Devarim, the Hay of Nukva. Following is an ultimate system of correspondences encompassing the entire Bible as distributed over the two partsofim of Zer Anpin and Nukva. It should be kept in mind that in traditional reckoning, sorry, in the traditional reckoning, the first and second Shmuel are considered one book, as are the first and second Malachim, first and second Chronicles, and the book of Ezra and Nehemiah. Nevertheless, in one instance, as we shall see, the Arizal does consider 1 and 2 Malachim separately.
Okay. The next page connects the last two Partsufim, Zer Anpin and Nukva, with the books of Tanakh in a different configuration. They will also refer to the 5 states of Chesed and 5 states of Gvura within both the Zer Anpin and Malchus. According to Judaic configuration, the books of Shmuel 1 and Shmuel 2, are actually one book, as are Kings 1 and Kings 2, Ezra and Nehemiah, and Chronicles 1 and Chronicles 2. Zer Anpin, known by its central sphera Tiferes, includes the 5 books of Torah. The early books of prophets are the 5 states of Chesed. That's Chesed, Gvur, Tiferes are Yehoshua, Shoftim, and Shmuel. And Netzach and Hod are Malachim 1 and Malachim 2. So even though, according to Jewish counting, Malachim 1 and Malachim 2 are the books of Kings, is actually one book, here he counts them as 2 books. Okay. 1020, go ahead, Alan.
Tiferes, that is Zer Anpin, includes the 5 books of Moshe, and its 2 arms comprise its 5 states of Chesed and the 5 states of Gevurah as follows.
Go ahead.
Yoshua, Judges, and Shmuel correspond to the Chesed, Gevurah, and Tiferes. First and second Malachim correspond to Netzach and Hod. Thus we have the 5 states of Chesed.
Okay, the later books of prophets are the 5 states of Gvura. Chesed, Gvura, Tiferes are Yeshaya, Yirmiyah, Yechezkel, and Netzach and Hod are for the 12 minor prophets. Now it says in Shir Hashirim, Shokav Amudei Sheish, his thighs are marble pillars. The word Sheish, marble, also means 6. 2 thighs, Netzach and Hod, each of 6 makes 12, the 12 minor prophets. Go ahead.
Yeshaya, Yirmiyahu, and Yechezkel correspond to Chesed, Gevurah, and Tiferes. And the 12 minor prophets correspond to Netzach and Hod, this being the mystical meaning of the verse. His legs are pillars of marble, sheish. Thus we have the 5 states of Gevurah. The Hebrew for marble, sheish, also means 6. The legs correspond to Netzach and Hod, each one being 6. The 2 together are 12, corresponding to the 12 minor prophets. The books of Yeshua, Judges, Shmuel, and Malachim manifest Chesed because they describe the Jewish people more or less in their heyday, focusing on their development as a people and the conquests of of their kings. The prophetic books, on the other hand, focus on the spiritual lapses and descent of the people, which resulted eventually in the destruction of the temple and exile.
9. Malchus corresponds, that was Tiferes and Zeranpin. The last Sphira, Malchus, corresponds to Ksuvim, writings, scriptures. The 5 Spheras correspond to the 5 Megillas: Shira Shirim, Koheles, Echa, Rus, and Esther. The 5 states of Chesed are the 5 books of Tillim. The 5 states of Gvura is Chesed, Gvura, Tiferes, are Mishle, Iyov, and Daniel. Netzach, this doesn't make sense. Oh, yeah. Netzach corresponds to Ezra and Nehemiah. And then Hod is for Divrei Hayamim, the Chronicles. Okay, go ahead.
Malchus, that is Nukva, includes the 5 scrolls, and its 2 arms comprise the 5 states of Chesed and the 5 states of Gevurah as follows: the 5 scrolls of Esther, Song of Songs, Lamentations, Echev, and Rus. The 5 states of Chesed are the 5 books of Psalms, and the 5 states of Gevurah are the prophets, Yov, Daniel, corresponding respectively to Chesed, Gevurah, and Tiferes, Ezra and Nehemiah corresponding to Netzach, and Chronicles to Hod. The book of Psalms traditionally subdivided into 5 sub-books.
All right. Good. Now, 10. The way letters are written is not universal. There are some differences between Ashkenazi script and Sephardi script. Neither is wrong. Each script alludes to certain spiritual channels that match the people who follow that custom. One moment. Okay, that's the bottom of 1020. Gershon, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, bottom of 1020, Gershon.
Regarding the forms of the letters, and to that extent, there's a difference between the ways of Ashkenazim and Sephardim write them. My master, the Arizal, used to say that they all allude in spiritual configurations above, for the forms of the letters change to various representations of the spiritual configurations.
Okay, 11. For example, the Aleph has 3 parts. First is a diagonal line from top left to bottom right. There's a Yud at the top right attached to the stem, and an inverted Yud at the bottom left also attached to the stem. The Sephardim form the upper Yud of the Aleph similar to a Zion. This is written this way with intention, as it matches certain spiritual channels. And this is hinted at in Tikkunei Zohar. So if there are different customs on how to write some of the letters, it's not just that one is right, one is wrong. This is right for these people, and the other one is right for those people. Okay, please continue.
This is particularly true regarding the form of the letter Aleph. The upper Yud of the Aleph is written according to the Sephardim like a Zayin. The Aleph is conceived as being formed of a long diagonal Vav with a Yud above and below it. If the stroke of the Yud is extended to the right, beyond the stem connecting it to the Vav, it appears like a Zayin.
Whatever. Next line.
Me?
If you squint and you turn it sideways, it looks like a Zion. Okay. One more line, Gershon.
Yes, he said that all of this is alluded to in Tikkunei Zohar.
Okay. Number 12. The second to last mitzvah in the Torah is for each person to write a Torah scroll. Since not everyone is capable of writing their own Torah, We fulfill this mitzvah by sponsoring and writing even one letter in a Torah or by buying books of Torah. The Arizal points out that people do not fulfill this mitzvah because they think it can only be fulfilled by writing a Torah themselves, and they don't know how to write like a sofer.
Some people are reluctant to fulfill this commandment, to personally write the Torah scroll for two reasons. The first is that they don't know how to write like a scribe, and they think that the commandment is to write with their own hand. Learning how to write Torah scrolls according to Jewish law is complicated and requires knowledge of the laws, the conventions and traditions to be followed, and artistic skill. However, the commandment may be fulfilled by proxy and is usually fulfilled nowadays by either commissioning a scribe to write the Torah scroll for those who can afford this, or participating in the cost of writing one. Also, owning printed copies of the Torah and its commentaries for personal study is considered part of fulfilling this commandment.
Okay. 13. Another reason is for lack of knowledge of how a Torah should be written. When Vav or Yud are used as a vowel, the word is pronounced the same whether the Vav or Yud is there or not. In a Torah, it's sometimes written with the letter and sometimes written without the letter. Okay, that's one thing. Next, some paragraphs begin on the same line as the end of the previous paragraph. This is known as a closed paragraph. If the paragraph begins at the beginning of the next line, it's called an open paragraph. It must be done correctly, if not, the Torah is not valid. Since people are not sure of the correct spelling and paragraphs in each instance, they refrain from personally writing a Torah. Now, the Rambam actually goes through every paragraph in the Torah and writes whether it's an open or closed paragraph. He concludes by saying that there are 290 open paragraphs and 379 closed paragraphs in the entire Torah for a total of 669. Again, generally speaking, open or closed paragraph means whether the paragraph begins on the same line or the beginning of the next line. Okay, that's really important.
Yes.
And there are other ways that it's done in certain cases, but basically this is how it goes, generally speaking. Okay, so the bottom paragraph.
Yeah. The second is that there are no longer in our times people who are well versed in which words are to be spelled fully, in which defectively, or which paragraphs are to be left open or closed, as mentioned already in the Talmud. Many words in Hebrew can be spelled either fully, using all the letters required by the rules of grammar and precedent, or defectively, leaving some or all of the vowel letters out. Vowel letters are the letters that are to indicate vowels, such as the vav or yud, and these vowels can instead be indicated by vowel points. There are different traditions regarding which paragraphs in the Torah are followed by a space extending to the line, extending to the end of the line the paragraph ends on. This is called an open paragraph, and which are followed by a space only equal to the width of 9 letters. This is called a closed paragraph.
Okay, 14. Now the Arizal instructed his scribe to write a Torah scroll following the directions of the Rambam for open and closed paragraphs, and to ignore other opinions. The Rambam writes that he relied on a tome that is assumed to be the Aleppo Codex, written by Aaron ben Asher in the early 900s, which today is in the Israel Museum in Yerushalayim. You may be familiar with it. No, Gershon?
I heard about it, that's all.
So there's a lot written about it and exactly where it went. Aaron ben Asher, I think there were two people. He and somebody else were considered the two great scribes who had recorded accurately, either through research or whatever, accurately the entire Tanakh. It was in a book form. It was not a Torah scroll, but it's a book, and they included all the vowels and all of the trup cantillations.
Hmm.
And so the Rambam was about 2 centuries later. He was in the 1100s. So he writes that he relied on that. And then it was back and forth. It was in Israel, it was in Syria, and it was in the shul in Aleppo, Syria. Aleppo, Syria had a very, very religious community. Art Scroll put out a big, thick book on the community of Aleppo. And going and then in the end of November 1947, the United Nations voted to partition Palestine, or the mandate, the British mandate, and they would divide into a Jewish state and a Muslim state or an Arab state. And with that, all the Arabs are opposed, and there were riots in the Muslim countries. And there were riots in Aleppo as well. I think they set fire to the shul. They tried to set fire. I think it was, and I shouldn't say it. And people went in to save the codex, and no one knows exactly what happened. It could be that they cut it up and whoever was there took pieces of it, took pages, and maybe 60 or 70% made its way back to it, found its way to the Israel Museum. I know maybe 10, 15 years ago, there was somebody in New York who died. I think they found one of the pages folded up in his pocket.
Oh,
So I guess he always kept with him. So anyways, this is considered, the Rambam relied on it. Also, years ago, I remember there was a news item that there was a Torah scroll. It's without the wooden poles. A Torah scroll found in a library of a university in Italy. And they said it most likely predates the Rambam because it had different, the paragraph structure was different than what the Rambam writes. And whatever the Rambam wrote, I forgot, he was 36 years old when he finished. They were saying it's at least 850 years old. And I guess it had been there and forgotten in the warehouse of the library. And so they discovered it. So based that the paragraphs are different, they determined that it's probably older than that it predates the Rambam. So the bottom line is, I think that once the Rambam wrote what are the open paragraphs and closed paragraphs, I guess that pretty much codified it for everybody, and eventually everyone started to follow it. It could be there are others that didn't, and he writes here that we'll see that he writes that the Arizal told his scribe to follow the Rambam. Okay, so this is 1022 first paragraph.
But my master told the scribe Rabbi M. Romi to write a Torah scroll similar to the other Torah scrolls in our country, following the instructions of Maimonides, regarding which paragraphs are to be open or closed. And he did not concern himself with the other traditions regarding which are to be closed and opened, followed by others who are stringent about these unchanged things.
Okay.
15.
If after the class, if you Google Aleppo Codex, you'll see a lot. It'll give you a full story. The Arizal also instructed his scribe to leave empty the space to write Hashem's name, Havaya, throughout the Torah, And these the Arizal wrote in himself after fasting, immersing in the mikvah, and having in mind specific meditations for each name Havaya that he was to write. Okay, go ahead, Gershon.
He also instructed him to leave blank all the places where the name Habaya occurs, for he wanted to write them himself with his own hand, after fasting and immersing, and while having certain meditations in mind that will be explained in our discussion of the tefillin.
All right, 16. There's a lot that goes into writing a Torah. For one thing, there are four parts to the letters. They're the letters themselves, the vowels, which don't get written into the Torah, the musical notes, the trup, which also doesn't get written into the Torah, and the little crowns that adorn some of the letters, which do get written in the Torah. The Arizal was very meticulous about how the crowns of the letters should be formed. Excuse me, the letters Shatnizgats, we call them. That's Shin, Ayin, Tes, Nun, Zayin, Gimel, and Sadik, which form the word Shatnizgats. That's how they're referred to. They get crowns, while the letters Badak Chaya, Beis, Daled, Kuf, Ches, Yud, Hey get smaller crowns. This was new to me. The significance of the crowns on specifically these letters is explained in other books of the Arizal. And a lot from here to the end, I think it's going to talk about this, the notes, the letters that get crowns. Okay, go ahead, Gershon.
And in the form of the crowns over the letters Shin, Ayin, Tet, Nun, Zayin, Gimel, Tzadik, and Beis, Dalet, Kuf, Het, Yud, Hey, he was extremely stringent. Certain letters in Torah scrolls, tefillin, and mezuzahs are adorned with crowns, small lines in the form of the letter Zayin attached to the top of the letters. These crowns are obligatory on the letters Shin, Ayin, Tet, Nun, Zayin, Gimel, and Tzadik. And according to some opinions, their absence invalidates the Torah scroll from use. It is customary to make smaller crowns on the letters Beis, Dalet, Kuf, Het, Yud, and Hey. These crowns must have the form of the letter Zayin, and they must be centered on the top of the letter, not to the right or the left.
Okay. There are 20. No. Yeah, go ahead, Gershon.
The mystical significance of why there are crowns on specifically these letters is explained in the gate of cantillation marks, vowels, crowns, and letters, and in the gate of the vowels. This is the end of the passage, following an excerpt from the gate of vowels. That means Etzheim 8:6.
Okay. Now,
That's a segue to the 22 letters.
yes. So the next part is not necessarily, it's not from the Parsha, it's connected with letters. And it's going to explain what we just did. There are 22 letters of the alphabet. 7 are associated with the containers of the 7 spheres of emotion. That's what we call Zeranpin and Malchus. The other 15 are associated with the containers of Abba and Ima. The Arizal calls the 7 spheres of emotions the 7 kings of Edom, which are usually associated with Tohu. But here, he just means the 7 ordinary spheres. Of course, Abba and Ima are much greater than the spheres of emotion. Okay, Abigail, page 1023.
Regarding the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet used in the Torah, 7 of them indicate the vessels of the 7 kings of Edom, and 15 of them indicate the vessels of Abba and Ima. Although we are at this point talking about the breaking of the vessels which occurred in the world of Tohu before the development of the Partsufim of the world of Atzilus, the names of these Partsufim are nonetheless used to refer to the aspects of the Tohu from which they will develop.
Okay. 18. One more line.
This is because Abba and Ima are greater than all of Zer, Anpin, and Nukva. Therefore, Abba and Ima's vessels are alluded to by 15 letters, while the Zer, Anpin, and Nukva's are alluded to by only 7 letters.
Okay. The first 2 letters of Havaya are Yud and Hey, whose value equals 15. Yud and Hey correspond to Abba and Ima, which is associated with the 15 letters of the alphabet. The 7 letters with crowns, Shatnez Gats, are associated with Zerampin, the spheres of emotion. 7. Regarding the other 15 letters, 6 of them, Badak Chaya, Bezdal Kuf Chesed Hey, are associated with the backs of the containers of Zerampin, and the remaining 9, Ochel Misaperet, are associated with the front of the containers. One moment. Okay, so the 7 that Shatnez got, those are associated with Tohu. The 6 of the 15 Badachaya are associated with the backs of the containers of Zerampin, and the other 9 with the front of the containers of Zerampin. So what is Tohu? So the first 2 letters are Abba and Ima, but now he says that it's Zerampin. Okay, I guess it's both. Okay, go ahead.
The indication that Abba and Ima take 15 letters is the fact that they are alluded to by the letters Yud Hey of the name Havaya, whose numerical value is 15.
Continue.
The letters indicating the vessels of Zeranpin are Shin Ayin Tet Nun Zayin Gimel Tzadik. Of the 15 remaining letters of the alphabet that indicate the vessels of Abba and Ima, 6 of them indicate the back of these vessels, and they are Beit Dalid Kuf Het Yud Hey, as mentioned in the Zohar. The remaining letters, Aleph, Vav, Kav, Lamed, Mem, Samek, Pei, Resh, and Tav, indicate the front or inner dimension of these vessels. That's interesting.
So
Front or inner.
in 18, it says regarding the backs of the containers there and pin, but are we talking about the containers of Abba and Ima, or
It's the 15 it says are with Abba and Ima.
yeah, but so
Hold on. The 7 letters with crowns are associated with Zerampin.
Yeah.
There's emotion
Yeah.
of I think of Tohu. I think with Tohu, not in a Srilos. What just happened?
I don't know.
Undo.
Okay. The 15 letters, first it says that they're associated with Abba and Ima, then it says they're associated with Zerampin. So it could be they go from Abba and Ima into Zerampin.
Okay, so in the paragraph says of the 15 remaining letters of the alphabet that indicate the vessels of Abba and Ima, 6 are the back, blah 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 blah, and the remaining it's the front. But so it's the vessels or the containers of Abba and Ima, not you write Zerampin in 18 towards the end, the one before the end. Then
It
the
says
last
Abba
line.
and it says Zerampin. I think. Yeah.
Correct. Am I missing something?
Yeah, the back of these vessels.
Well, it says author 15.
Oh, no. Hold on.
Yeah. No, it's all.
Abba and Ima.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anytime. Of course, I don't know what the containers are, but that's a different story.
I did not realize front and inner were the same thing.
Yes.
I thought it was
Uh, yeah.
light and dark, front and back.
Well, think of a cup. Front means the face, means the inside. And then the back is the outside.
Uh, um, uh,
Wow. Thank you. That was bad.
yeah, well, again, I don't know what the containers are, but
Container, you have lights and containers. You have the
uh,
vessels, and then you have the lights.
and Tohu was the breakage of the vessels.
Yeah, but this is lower. This is not Tohu. This is lower than Tohu.
Oh,
We're talking about Abba and Ima.
well, you said, translations are,
Tohu is much higher.
uh, you had a nice definition of translation. So maybe the inner is
There's no other way to translate it. It's inner,
all
I
right.
think. Okay. 19. Now the letters of Satan as Gats are the highest, but that's with Tohu. And Badachaya are with the backs of the containers, and the other 9 are with the front of the containers. So the letters of Satan as Gats, they get 3 crowns each. We're going to speak a little more about this. Badachaya get 1 crown each, and then the remaining 9 letters get no crown. And we'll explain how that is.
This
This is the reason.
This is the reason why the letters Shin, Ayin, Tet, Nun, Zayin, Gimel, Tzaddik require 3 crowns each, while the letters Beis, Dalid, Kuf, Het, Yud, Hey require 1 crown each, and also why these remaining 9 letters are different from the other letters requiring no crowns at all.
20. As we said, the 7 letters, Shatnez Gots, that get 3 crowns, are connected with the 7 kings of Edom listed at the end of Vayishlach, who died. Usually referred to the 8 kings of Edom. But the last one doesn't say that he died. They are the source of Klippa. The letters can also be arranged to read Satan Az Gats, which implies the powerful, forceful strength of brazen judgment that descended, from which the klipos were formed. The word Az both means powerful and strength. It also means brazen. So we're sticking in all these meanings into this idea, into this explanation. And the Zohar explains that these 7 kings were like sparks that were scattered like a blacksmith who hits the iron and sparks fly in all directions. So the word Satan is Satan that refers to Klippa. Az refers to powerful and brazen. How about the word Gats? So in the Talmud, we find a phrase. So the Zohar says it's like the 7 kings were like sparks that scattered like a blacksmith, blah, blah, blah. The Talmud says we find a phrase, a spark that flies out from under the hammer. So the Talmud uses the word Gats for spark. And those Gats is the last 2 letters that receive 3 crowns. The Talmud uses the word Gats for spark, and the Zohar talks about this idea like a blacksmith making sparks. It's an very interesting connection how we tie this together. Okay, 1023 at the bottom.
The letters Shin, Ayin, Tet, Nun, Zayin, Gimel, Tzaddik allude to the 7 kings of Edom that died, and from these kings the forces of evil were created and issued, as is known. These letters can be combined to form the word Satan Az Gates, meaning the strength and mighty power of the insolent Oz, states of judgment, which descended and became Satan, i.e., the forces of evil. And it is known that the Zohar states that these 7 kings were like sparks that were scattered, like a blacksmith who hits iron and sparks fly in all directions. This is the allusion in the word gates, spark, as in the words of the Talmud, a spark, gates, that flies out from under the hammer.
Okay, now these 7 kings took their light from under the beard of the body of Adam Kadmon, which is the forerunner of Atzilus. Adam Kadmon means primal man. What does primeval? It doesn't mean evil, right? Primeval just means early.
Yeah, primordial.
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 Okay, in Chicago we pronounce it primordial. That's the forerunner of
Not
Atzilus.
Chicago.
And Adam Kadmon is described as a profile of a person. Oh, here we go, right here, that exists before Atzilus. So it says the 7 kings took their light from under the beard of Adam Kadmon. Okay, exactly what that is. It's going to be. We'll see what's the significance in the next paragraph.
We have explained previously that these 7 kings took their light from the body of Adam Kadmon under the tuft of the beard, but not higher than his. Adam Kadmon, primordial man, is the first divine emanation after the initial symptom. The Sephiros issue from his various body parts.
22. Since they do not reach higher than the beard, they lack 3 aspects of the face of Adam Kadmon: the ears, the nose, and the mouth, and their front and back broke. This may be connected with the 7 kings of Edom who died, meaning that the containers of Tohu shattered. The ears, nose, and mouth are indicated by the 3 crowns. The letters are containers. The crowns show that the light and life force was withdrawn from the letters. The crowns are above the letters, not within them. Right. Go ahead.
It follows that they lack the 3 highest lights, i.e., those of Adam Kadmon's ears, nose, and mouth. This is why both their frontal and back aspects broke. These missing lights are indicated by the 3 crowns affixed atop these letters, for the crowns allude to the withdrawal of the light and life force from the vessels, which are alluded to by the letters themselves. The light remained above them instead of within them, as depicted by the placement of the crowns above the letters.
Okay, those are the letters, the 7 letters, Shatnez gets, or Satan Az gets, which receive 3 crowns each. Now, the next group of letters is Badak Chaya. By the way, so Shatnez gets is a spark, and Shatnez is the mixture of wool and linen. The next group of letters, and we just do that to make a mnemonic. The next group of letters is Badak Chaya, which means that he checked Chaya, or he checked an animal. The 6, and those 6 have 1 crown, and that alludes to the back of Abba and Ima, which did not break, but did descend. So they get 1 crown. Okay, Abigail, go ahead.
In contrast, the letters Beis, Dalet, Kuf, Het, Yud, Hai allude to the backs of Abba and Ima, which descended rather than broke. Here, the point is that the vessels of the 7 lower sephiros of Tohu broke because they lacked the stabilizing influence of the intellect, while the 3 upper sephiros of Tohu, its intellect, did not break, since intellect is inherently more stable than the volatile emotions. Instead, only their backs or external aspects fell.
And finally, we're going to continue talking about these 6 letters, Badakaya, who get 1 crown. Abba and Ima took from the 2 lights of the nose and the mouth of Adam Kadmon, but not from the ears. When the containers of Tohu broke, only their backs fell, not their front. Since they only lack 1 light from the ears, the 6 letters Badakaya only receive 1 crown. Again, to show that the light and light force of the ears was withdrawn from the letters. Okay, go ahead. Take it away.
We have explained that Abba and Ima are formed from the 2 lights of the nose and mouth of Adam Kadmon, and thus lack only the light of the ear. Therefore, when the vessels of Tohu broke, only their backs fell. To allude to the 1 light they lack, i.e., that of the ear of Adam Kadmon, we affix a single crown on each of these letters.
Hey. Oh, 1 minute. Okay, and this this is the end of this chapter. Any comments?
Um,
Questions?
so every single of those letters, let's say one of the 7, throughout the Torah, they have 3 crowns, correct?
I think so.
Uh-huh. So they're in the middle of the word, they may get it, in the beginning of the word, they may get it. They just get it
So
throughout.
7.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know the
So
Rambam writes for, let's say, mezuzahs, which letters have crowns. But to the
so
best of my
then
knowledge, everyone in the Torah of these 7 get a crown. And I guess that the other 6 get a smaller type of crown. I didn't verify that.
so we are representing what they lost. So each letter, the 7 lost 3. They missed 3 because they were behind the beard, and the other ones fell back, which I don't understand what that means. The backs fell, correct? And they only lost 1, so we put 1 crown there. So I don't know, I'm just guessing that maybe if one meditates on one particular word or paragraph, then you will remember that that letter lost 3. I don't know. I'm just trying to
That what?
deconstruct. We are remembering that those letters missed 3 things, and the other ones are missing 1.
Yeah.
Trying to see why we're doing this.
What's the
Well,
picture of letters that have lost their holiness?
what from Tohu and Gershon, we learned this many years ago. Remember in the
In the yeah.
And what did it talk about there?
And we were talking about the incompatibility. That's why the vessels broke.
Right. Yes. In Tohu, lights were very strong and left no room for another light. And they were unsustainable. They were totally independent of anything else. And so they crashed and burned. And that was those 7 letters of Shatnez Gatz. Going down, the next 6 letters were from Abba and Ima. What was the problem with them?
They lost the ear.
Yeah, and they didn't have, the first one didn't have the ear, nose, or mouth. This
Correct.
one had the nose and the mouth, but not the ears. It was missing something, and
So
it,
the other 9, they didn't lose anything. They didn't fall,
right. I guess they didn't fall at all.
which is anyhow. We'll understand this one day.
So do we
God
think that
willing.
do we look at a word and we see letters and we think some letters are more holy than other letters? Some letters have more light in them than other letters.
We do well. They represent different things. We see indications of klipa in some letters. That's something else. Yeah, I don't know how that.
I mean, could there be a good side to it that it's something we can digest at this level? Because if it were to higher, if it had all of its power,
I think the bottom line, the main thing to know is that the letters, we talked about four things: letters, crowns or adornments, the trup, that's the musical note, the cantillations, and the
Vowels.
vowels. And we think of it as okay, it's reading, but there's a lot of Kabbalah involved in each of those things. And all of the Kabbalah, each of those things plugs in or represents different channels, connected to different channels, configurations of holiness. It's not incidental. It's not contrived.
so when you get
Garrison
to
said that to me many,
heaven,
many years ago before we even started learning this.
so when you get to heaven, all the vowels are there. That would be heaven, wouldn't it?
They
For
go higher
us,
than
yeah.
heaven.
For me.
But there's all a lot of mystical
Yeah.
connection with all these things.
Cool.
Complicated to name a child if you understand
For the
all
parents,
if you understand all
it's
these
up
things.
to the parents.
Um,
Okay.
Blame the parents sometimes.
I put on AI Companion. I don't even know how to minimize it. Maybe
Oh.
this will do it. I should try it now. But I'm going to share the notes. They usually do a pretty good job, or 95%
Oh, to summarize.
to
Yeah.
summarize. Not even summarize, to give a very good report, summary. Okay, it just shows the box. I don't know if it's still running.
Yeah.
AI Companion is running.
YouTube's running.
Yeah, I didn't shut that down yet. So, Mazel tov to Rudy again.
Yeah, Mazel
When
tov.
they named the Bristlebate, you know,
The girl got her name. The boy is still unnamed
But it's still
and
on there.
uncircumcised.
do you know when it'll be? Any idea?
The earliest now would be Sunday.
So you're staying.
Yeah, I mean, and then right after that is going to be the party for Yehuda,
The bar mitzvah.
bar mitzvah, right? So to go back and forth, no.
It's
Sunday
warmer.
Not much.
by little.
Not
Warmer.
much.
It's a lot. Compared to here, it's a lot warmer.
But Rudy gave up his skiing for the last month.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
get a
we've
lot
been
more.
single digits in the
Supposed
morning.
to be in the Winter Olympics, but didn't work out that way.
Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna ask. Rudy, do you know who's the Moyle?
I don't know his name, but he